Rollo May said, and I'm going to paraphrase this, it won't be an exact quote, but he basically said, no man can stand an existence where he's powerless. Like, none of us can handle that. None of us can. No one likes to feel powerless. No one likes to feel like they're not in control of their life. And when my experience of paralysis by analysis is just that. It's powerlessness. It's sitting there thinking and thinking and thinking and never ever participating. Never ever allowing yourself to do something because you're scared, or it might not be the right thing, or it might be too expensive, or it might be slightly painful, or you might be uncomfortable, or whatever the hell your reason is.
Yeah.
Right? That's powerlessness. Judging yourself to the point that it puts you in a state of freezing is powerlessness. Because people that are empowered do stuff. And so I want to end this with the idea, and maybe you and I can come up with a sentence or two together, of where does self-evaluation stop? And where does action begin? And I'll give you my answer.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what I think about.
Yeah.
And I would love for you to add to it. And for me, the point of when I stop self-evaluating is when I catch myself judging. Right?
Yeah.
When I catch myself becoming overly critical of my findings of myself, as I kind of become the observer of my life, or this thing that I'm considering doing, or whatever it is, or stuff that I've done, at the point where the observer becomes like a self-degrading, judgmental asshole, that's the point when the evaluation's done. Because nothing good is going to come out of that. And if you've gotten to that point, stop there. Stop the judgments. Stop that, negative, that stinking thinking, and choose an action. You've made enough evaluation by that point. By the time you hit that judgment, in my experience, I've made enough, I've done enough, self-evaluation to know this is the action, or this is the action, or maybe there is no action. This isn't something I'm not even considering anymore. But to take that thing one more step further, it starts becoming judgment. It starts becoming critical. And then that spiral can be a real slippery slope to walk along for me. So as soon as I catch myself in a state of my self-evaluation, my analysis becomes critical, it's over.
Yeah.
Right? So I'd love for you to share, for you, we're saying, because we're kind of, sharing, I think, what I hear us sharing is it's important to self-evaluate, but it's also important to do. So when does Julie decide the evaluation's over and she goes out and does?
I think, I guess what came to my mind is, two questions, and that is, am I trying to talk myself out of something that I really want to do or experience or whatever? Or am I trying to talk myself into something that I really don't want to do?
Wow. Will you say that again? I love that.
So am I trying to talk myself out of something that I actually want to do, or am I trying to talk myself into something that I actually don't want to do? Yeah, that stops the circle right there, I think.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Those are two awesome questions. I'll definitely be borrowing those from you.
Yeah, and I think I want to add in this, we were talking about this yesterday, that not all areas of our life will be perfect or perfectly evaluated and perfectly outlined and perfectly chosen and perfectly experienced. I mean, this is a process of life. Like, this is a process of living, not a means to an end. You know? And the only reason that I could even say that, am I trying to talk myself out of something, or am I trying to talk myself into something that I really don't want to do, or out of something that I really do want to do, is because, like, that's what I've done most of my life. It's like, you know? Like, yeah, I've made some huge changes in my life. I've faced some pretty big demons. I've gone against my own family culture in many ways, and that's been really challenging. But I've also done a lot of things that were outside, and I continue to do a lot of things that are outside of what I really actually want. So all that, if you listening if you've experienced that maybe your life just is not how you would like it to be, and in your experience it kind of sucks, there's a lot of value in that. There is. And it's not like the whole, oh, well, everything happens for a reason, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, I mean, yeah, everything does happen for a reason. That kind of doesn't, like, I don't really like that idea as much as just realize that even the shit parts of life can be really valuable later on.
Amen.
And it's okay if you're not experiencing the value of all the self-inflicted torture yet. It's okay. On a soul level, it will come at some point. That experience will come.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. That really... Yeah.
Like, it's
thanks.
okay that it doesn't feel okay, you know? It's okay.
And it's okay to get angry, you know, because anger gives us the courage to move forward sometimes, you know, because there's been times where I've done some self-evaluations and I've caught myself and said, wow, I'm living someone else's agenda. And then I get kind of pissed at myself. And then instead of judging that anger that I'm feeling towards myself, I actually use it.
Yeah.
I use it to actually have the courage to go out and do things on my way now, instead of being on that other person's agenda. So I think this was a good talk today. I feel good about what we...
Yeah. I enjoyed this one. Thank you.
And thank all of you for listening. We really appreciate your ears and your hearts. And we got a little bit fiery today. It happens. It happens. I guess my wish is just that everyone that's listening to this, that you allow yourself to live. You know, I'll finish with this last thing. I was listening to a podcast with Henry Rollins, and he was talking about he helped David Lee Roth, the original singer of Van Halen, you know, the 80s rock star. He helped him write his autobiography, and they were talking about, like, their lives being, you know, these mega rock stars and famous people. And David Lee Roth was just kind of talking about how whenever he goes home or he sees people, they're like, oh, you got lucky, man, you know, you made it, you know. And David Lee Roth, that doesn't really sit so well with him. And his response, you know, I thought was a unique one. Henry Rollins says whenever, you know, he was talking with Dave about this, he always says, you know, look, when we all graduate high school, we're all in the same starting blocks to life. And some people choose to take the easy route. They choose to get that job at the bank, or get that job down at the factory, or take that IT position, or become a mom, or do whatever that thing is that kind of provides them some sort of a semblance of safety and security and stability right off the get-go, and I'll just kind of stay here. And that's cool. That's cool if you want to do that. But David Lee Roth, I love what he said. He said that he chose to sail the seas of consequence. And that everything in his life was a consequence to those actions, to making that choice, to not take the easy way, to put himself out there. And sometimes, when you're out there in that sea of consequence, some waves are going to come up and they're going to pound you. They're going to flip your boat. They're going to throw you across. You're going to go under and you're going to think, I'm dying.
Mm-hmm. Well,
but sometimes you're going to be sailing smoothly and you're going to see things that nobody else gets a chance to see.
Yeah. And I might add, I love when I heard that. I mean, I wrote it down and it's on our refrigerator, but I think like we're all sailing the sea of consequence, but we may not all be navigating our ocean. So
yeah.
Because we all face consequence of our choices, and consequence being the good and the,
right.
the positive, the negative, all of the above.
Yeah, consequence is not a negative word.
Yeah.
It's,
it's the outcome to your choice.
You make a choice and it's followed by a consequence, right? So that's how I want to end. I just want to invite you to navigate your life and map out the course that you want to take. And if you're already on a course, you can always go a different direction, You can always go in a different direction at any time. If you're willing to master yourself and face yourself and learn how to just be honest with yourself about who you are and what you love and be okay with that, because you're perfect, man. You're perfect. So thanks for listening. Be sure that you like us on Facebook, The Hawk and the Hummingbird. You can follow us on Spreaker.com. You can find me at my blog. I started a new blog site for myself, billyperkins.blog. You can find me on Instagram, B_Ray_Perk, or just put in Billy Perkins and it's going to be B Ray Perk. That's me. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram, and we'll be back next week with something new to rant about. So thanks for listening, and any last words, Hummingbird?
Love you guys. Bye.